What happened to you, Dewey? I don't know, but I know what happened to you. Patrick Duffy took a beating. Hello.
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 Welcome back.
Bienvenue.
We are here with some Fandom Nonsense with some new lighting. Fucking looking nice in here.
It's really bright.
Really, it is bright.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at the dentist.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Stigmatism is rough right now.
God.
Sorry, gang.
The feeling of just like being in a dentist office and just like you're laying back and some crazy son of a bitch got it in his mind that it would do you a favor to just start drilling into them teeth you got poking out of your head.
Well, let's start with the fucking like 20 gauge that they fucking shove into your mouth first of all.
Yeah.
Ugh. See, I've been here for a couple hours, so like I've gotten used to it, and my eyes have learned not to stare at them like they want to do so goddamn badly.
Yeah.
I will tell you, there is a certain level of bliss I associate with the dentist office, because like
not a single bit, but go on.
No, see, like we're gonna get weird for a second. This is a deep cut, but I feel like in that feeling of intense pain, that like prolonged sense of discomfort and intense pain, you can find this like fucking oasis of feeling that, oh, this is gonna end. Like this isn't forever.
See, I always have the fear that I'm just gonna die there from the shock.
Dude,
Really?
it's euphoric whenever you just like, if you just give into it, or if you're just like, this is what it is now. Like
Yeah.
this is what's happening
This is my
to me.
life now.
Yep. I'm the guy who sits there when somebody's drilling into their fucking head. I let it go this far. Can't say it didn't. I was there in the room and they were like, so we're going to take this thing and we're going to jam it into your skull. Is that cool? And then I was like, yeah, all right.
That is actually how I perceive the dentist office.
No, I remember one. It was a molar that I forget how many fucking times they came back with the shot, but it was just too fucking much, and I just felt the whole thing. And molars, and it was an extraction, and molars, oh, they're the worst, because you don't just rip out a molar. You crush a molar, and then you rip out each fucking anchor, and I felt all of that.
Yeah.
And that was the most, that was absolute death. The root canal was nowhere near that bad.
Oh, yeah, no.
But then again, I was gassed the fuck up for the root canal, and that was, I miss dental insurance just for the simple fact of being able to afford gas.
Yeah.
And not having to get the fucking shot.
Damn, yeah, the local anesthetic.
Yeah.
Local anesthetic is a lie.
They literally only ever give me local anesthetic.
Anesthetic. You got it.
And it kills me because, it doesn't fucking work.
Right.
Whenever the glands down here at the bottom of my throat, they went to numb them and then immediately started poking, and I screamed and started to bleed, and they were like, what are you talking about? It's fine. I put the shot in.
Right, because your fucking body is holistic. You just because you can't feel like the direct pain doesn't mean there aren't other signals being sent to your brain that something is fucking wrong when you can feel the vibration from the thing in your jaw, in your goddamn feet.
Yeah.
And the dentist is occasionally, everything okay?
No.
Because you can't just be like, no, I want to opt out. Pull the ripcord.
I have a few times. They don't take it, but I've tried a few times.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, so
I've just been like, no, actually, this fucking sucks. That's why I got 6 shots. Cause no, I can still feel all of this.
Yeah.
Please,
Damn.
I'm dying.
Yeah. They say that, I don't know how true this is, but this is an old wives thing, that some recessive gene in fucking people who have red hair makes you a little bit more resistant to painkillers. But I don't know if that's true at all. It sounds like some bullshit.
I mean, it does sound possible.
I mean, it's potentially true, but I mean,
right? Yeah.
Little side note, Cryptic Gaming TV, who subbed forever ago, just said, congratulations to you all. I've been excited to see you reach affiliates since I started following. So hype.
Damn.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's really nice.
Woohoo! Happy to have you here. How's your week been?
He just left to go skate, but he has his tab.
Right on.
Oh, for
that's
sure.
Cool. Thank
Well,
you.
yeah, check back in a little bit.
I do have a comment about the dentist office.
Oh, please.
The sound.
Oh, yeah. The high pitch
I
whir.
hear it in my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Sound from what?
whenever
from
the
the dentist?
dentists are like,
Yeah,
It doesn't
that,
bother me. Like none of
Yeah.
like
I
the
think
local anesthetic totally works for me. I'd rather have
Mm.
gas for sure.
Oh, he is still here. So this day's been
yeah.
great. Week's
Good.
been great.
Cool.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's an ability to just like zone out. Like I've never been afraid of the dentist or anything. Of like,
I've never been afraid of it.
yeah,
But I just associated like it's a very intense experience that they put you through as a child.
I could fall
Yeah, it
asleep
is.
in a dentist chair.
You know? Oh,
dear
for sure.
God.
Yeah.
No.
no.
yeah.
I
see,
mean-
that's
I'm
the thing.
accepting that
With-
it's happening, but that doesn't mean I'm enjoying it.
with the right drugs, absolutely. Like ideal would just be going off somewhere, probably fucking Cuba. Well, that's just in general, period on that sentence. But in a comma form, going off to fucking Cuba or somewhere and just being gassed for like a week and just waking up with all of my fucking dental problems solved. Like that.
Wow.
Just be under the entire time.
Yes.
We're gonna fix all of this.
Yes. I don't.
Jesus.
I don't. And if I don't wake up, that's cool.
I don't know. Pain is a gift in a way.
Mm-hmm.
A respite from the constant burden of our cold comfort.
I just want my teeth left out of it.
Get
Yeah,
away from
Phil.
my mouth.
Yeah.
That's all fine and good. Just leave my teeth out of it.
Just leave my teeth out of this.
But the drilling is even. I feel like the shots don't ever work whenever they're doing drilling.
No.
But the sound is so much worse. Like the sound makes my mouth feel hot.
Right. Yeah, that's what I mean by like it being holistic is the like high pitched whine and the vibration, everything, just numbing the spots not enough to make you not like realize and feel the pain. It helps. Like it's
Yeah.
be a lot worse if they didn't numb it, but it
Right.
doesn't do enough to actually like put your mind out of it, because obviously it's like, you know, okay, we're gonna drill in your mouth. Don't think about pink elephants, and you know
Yeah.
it's that exact situation.
Yeah, not being able to see what's happening also
Mhm.
kind of forces your mind's eye to like invent the image of
Right.
what's
yeah.
happening, or at least for me, that's what.
Oh
happens.
yeah, absolutely. No, I like
And your teeth feel bigger in your mind's eye than they actually are.
Right.
You know?
I remember like judging like, okay, so they're here, so that means they've got this much done on it, whatever, like judging
Yeah.
where they are on the tooth by the feeling of the. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
My teeth are hurting from this conversation.
So yeah, speaking of anesthetic, when I got my hand cut open, like the most painful part of that whole experience was them putting the anesthetic through your finger. Because when you have a cut like that and they need to sew it up,
Mhm.
they'll just they'll push the anesthetic through the vein, and then it'll kind of like shoot out of the wound,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
you know what I mean,
Oh, but it
like
hurts.
yeah,
Yeah.
it hurts a lot. And so like it wasn't working very well because I've never had an experience where that stuff worked well. So they had to do it a couple times. Well, like, yeah, she got a few stitches in, and then she was just like, you're feeling this happen, right? Because how would she not know, She's
Mhm.
jamming a needle into my hand. You can kind of tell if somebody's
Yeah,
a
somebody
part
can
of that
feel it or not.
experience. Yeah. So she's like, yeah, this probably isn't cool. We have a lot of time to go. And so they jammed another needle in me, and then,
Ooh.
set it ablaze, set my fucking blood and viscera through. Dude, you can if you get a deep enough cut, you can see the fat and stuff, and you never think about it.
Yeah.
Like you can see
Yeah.
all the meats.
All of them.
Yeah, and you're just like, that
Arby's
shouldn't
and
be what my
they're
inside is
juicy.
like. Am I just a pork person? Am I not a real person?
Just
Was
a
I
pork person?
genetically modified by some fucking food company?
How old were you? Like 11? How old were you when that happened?
I thought you meant right now.
I
Like,
was
how old
already
are you
playing
right now? How old are
guitar.
you?
was already playing guitar, so I must have been at least 14, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think.
When I fucked up my wrist, they went to reset it after it had been in the same position for like 2 weeks because the hospital didn't call the on-call orthopedist for some reason to set it right then. And I had to... They tried to numb it out. It's the only time that anesthetic has not worked for me. And they put me in 2, like, Chinese finger traps. Like,
I hate those.
but metal.
Yeah.
They're like wires that fucking... And, like, hung my arm down, put a weight on it, so it's already pulling. Like, he's like, you gotta let it go. So they're trying to, like, ease it up before he's gonna pull down on the thing and push everything back into place. It's the only time that the anesthetic didn't work. He gave me 1 shot, and they were like, "You still feel that? Like you're scanning everything?" I was like, "Yeah." He gave me another shot. Waited about 15 minutes, and he's like, "You still feel everything?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, bud. Okay.
Here we go.
So he was like, "We're down the hall from anybody. You can yell all the things at me that you want, but we got to get this done." And I'm like, all right. So it was like resetting completely, like where my 2 fingers had gone like back into my wrist. It's really bad.
I love the Taoism of this this position and being like, you have to let go.
Do
like,
whatever.
It doesn't matter what happens to me. This has to happen.
Yeah, I was cursing a lot. My dad was there with me. He was like, "That's sorry." I was like 16, 17 though, I think. At that point. Maybe I was older.
What?
No, that
Just-
wasn't 17. I was like 19. I'm dumb. 16, 17, I was like in high school.
Just pain, you know. That's been the sole
I ended up
topic of
playing-
today's podcast. We've gotten so visceral.
I ended up playing slap acoustic guitar with my fucking cast on. I remember that very vividly.
Sick.
What was your first guitar, Nolan? Did you start on acoustic or electric?
I started on an electric. It was a Spectrum. It was one of those you got in a box at Walmart. I still actually have it in pieces. I think. No, I may have gotten rid of the body.
You could a bunch out whenever we moved.
Yeah, that might have been the one I got rid of. But I for a long period of time I just had that and a black Maestro acoustic, which is like what Gibson is to Epiphone. Fucking Maestro is the
right. It's the Walmart brand Gibson.
Yeah.
It's like the Fender had their Starcaster line.
Yeah. We had one of those in the shop. We had like a Starcaster Telecaster, which fucking...
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Right.
Like name a line of guitars after one of the guitars that's already a model. Well, why would you...
Right. Yeah.
Starcaster, Telecaster.
Yeah. So like...
Fender Starcaster Telecaster.
Yeah. And fucking... Yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar situation to where when I started playing, I had a Lotus Les Paul copy. It was bolts on. It looked like a classic cherry sunburst, but it was bolts on with a flat top, and I came to find out later that the humbuckers were actually just single coils, just glued inside of a humbucker casing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know what some of these words mean.
So, should we...
Okay, yeah.
The nerd in me wants to explain.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, basically what that means is, like your classic, slash guitar, typically has, like, a carve on the top of it. And the pickups, because normal guitar pickups have a lot of humbuckers, buck hum, and so they're designed. That's what they're designed for. That's why they're called that.
Humbuckers buck hum. New T-shirt out. And
they're typified by having 2 coils instead of 1.
Rolled, wired in parallel to each other to cancel the hum out.
Yeah.
And so this guitar looked like it had those to be like a cool rock guitar. It was a cheap piece of shit, and it didn't. But it was okay. It played all right. And then I got a Strat for Christmas. But all I had was like growing up, I had a shitty classical guitar that I remember being just way too fucking big. Like it was a jumbo classical, which is weird. But I could have just been small and not remembering right. And then I got a shitty Johnson acoustic.
I had one of those.
And it put me off playing acoustic, like, for a while. Like, people say if you're going to learn, like, start on acoustic and, like, get your hands, like, dexterous and everything on a decent acoustic and then move over to electric. But I always preferred my electrics because I could actually do more on them, especially, like, once I got my Strat and Epiphones.
Yeah, actually, my Washburn, the, like, first guitar that I had was...
I loved your Washburn.
It was a really good guitar. But the action on it was fucking heavy. It's like super high. And it hurt to play for too long, which sucked.
Yeah.
But then after, like when I was trying to actually play like electric guitar or something later on, it would always fuck me up because I didn't have to push anywhere near as hard. So I was just like... A
lot of the people around you played, and it's funny because now you don't like playing guitar because it's too hard, too hard on your hands and stuff compared like to the uke and stuff.
The uke is fucking easy.
But like a lot of the people around you played like at most maybe some of us played 11s, but most of us were playing 9 and 10s where you probably would have been more comfortable on like 13s or something because of
everything was so slinky.
Yeah,
like it's like, and I didn't do any bends or anything.
Right,
I was playing acoustic guitar most of the time, so I'd never learned how to do that kind of stuff.
I don't know why the typical thinking is start on acoustic because it has more resistance. Yeah. Because wouldn't you want to you don't start lifting more weights so that it's easier whenever you lift smaller. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is a good point. You don't lift like
I got a fucking 10-pound set later. I got to fucking be benching hundreds.
You know what I bet though? I bet a lot of people that do that are the ones that prefer higher gauge strings. Like, I bet a lot of people that, like, just picked up an electric guitar because they wanted to play electric guitar because that's the cool instrument, probably the ones that stick in, like, the lower range of... Because, like, I love to bend strings. That's a huge part of, like, my tonality. And I don't really like to be exhausted or I always am after performance. I like to eliminate as many things that can add stress and exhaustion, and strings that are too high gauge for me is one of those. I like a good medium, a good medium on the top and a good like light on the bottom, or on the reverse that. But yeah.
Call me a diva. I'm a 9.5 guy, and that's where I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, probably, basically.
Me a diva.
And as you guys know, my first guitar is that Epiphone.
Yeah.
Which fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, we need to fucking fix that. Why haven't we fixed that yet? We could just take it to fucking, if we don't want to rewire it ourselves, which I assume
Alan's
is the issue.
was the one that...
No.
Okay, I was going to say, they supposedly fixed it 3 different times.
I mean, I don't want to talk shit, but...
I believe that.
Yeah.
No, because especially with the
Timothy's String Services is what I was going to say.
Oh.
Not a sponsor,
with the Epiphone hollow bodies, getting into them to wire is such a bitch.
Yeah. It's a son of a bitch. I had an Ibanez Art Core, and one day I was actually at Etc. and I plugged in, and it just went all the way. Like plugged too far in, you might say.
Oh.
Blew out the back walls of my guitar.
Oh.
Not in the good way.
Oh, man.
So, yeah.
It just went through.
It just kept going. You know how the little plate broke?
Yeah.
So, like, the input thing was then lost inside of it because the nut came off, too.
Oh, shit.
So, like, that was stripped. So that was a real pain in the ass. But that guy, he fished up in there and he saved it.
Probably Dylan.
Huh?
Probably Dylan.
No, Timothy.
Okay. I thought you were talking about
Timothy
Ad,
Gortz.
etc.
Yeah. No.
He got it, though.
Yeah.
It's fucking...
It was pretty neat. And he didn't charge me hardly anything. He really had to do some shit to it, too. He was like, this was a process. And I believe him, yeah.
This was a bitch to do. Don't do it again.
Speaking of weird guitar mishaps, you know, like the pegs you put in at the bridge of a guitar to keep it stable, on an acoustic guitar specifically.
Yeah.
So one guy had super glued one in. So
God.
he brought in his guitar to have the strings changed, and
Why would he super glue it?
Mm.
Wood glue at most, but like.
it might have been wood
Okay.
glue. I didn't see any traces of it, so I assumed it was
Okay.
super glue,
Yeah.
but it could have been wood glue. Anyway, that son of a bitch was not coming out of there. So, like, typically what I'll do is I'll take some, like, if it's kind of difficult to get the pegs out, which sometimes it is because they've been in
Yeah.
there for a while. Usually, if it's the kind of person that like takes it to a shop to get the strings changed,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I usually use pliers if I'm going to try to get it out of there, and it's taken me a second. So I get to this peg, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. I have been skipping arm day. Like, it's just not happening. And so I give it a really good tug. And I'm like, all right, make or break time. I'm not going to break this guitar. I know that. So I'm just going to fucking pull on it. And the thing just comes off. Like, the top of the head, the little nubbins just comes off. And so I've just got this, like, smooth surface now. So I'm like, all right, you know, when God closes a door, by gum, he opens a window. And so I take the rest of the strings. Well, all the strings are off of it now. And so I go in.
Go from the other way.
I go in the mouth, and I go in from the other end. I'm like, all right, I'll just push from this side, right? And that'll happen. And so I'm pushing, and I'm like, okay, this is like more likely that I'll fuck this guitar up if I
If
I
you really
hulk out of
send it.
this.
If
Like,
you
if I
fucking send it right now, you might send it flying.
I might get this peg out of this hole and myself out of a job. So I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and I'm just like, all right, fucking, here we go, once more up the hill, Sisyphus. And so I fucking push, and the peg breaks again, and so now it's flush on both sides, and I'm like, oh fuck, have I run out of options? And so I'm kind of freaking out there, and then my buddy John comes into the store, and he's just like, you know, there's only one thing we can do, really. We just have to drill through the fucking peg to get it out of there. I'm like, okay, so that's what you do. You drill through the peg
Yeah.
with a tiny little
Yeah.
bit at first, and then you just build up, you know? So once again, start small and get bigger. Don't try to fucking lift the big weights to prepare for the small ones.
That's okay.
Put a
I was like, where
half-inch
did we
hole
spiral
in-
from?
Put a half-inch hole in the bridge to get the peg out.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus.
Yes, you thought we were communists, but we're actually musicians. Ha 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 ha.
Were guitars your first instruments?
Yeah. Played nothing but guitar. Like, I knew the notes on a keyboard, but I wasn't really that interested in it.
I wish I would have played keys.
Yeah.
I wish I would have started with keyboards, certainly,
I wish I would have started with keyboards, but
and then immediately moved into guitar.
but watching my niece have to take lessons, it makes me realize that, like, I only wish that I had started on keys now, because I've learned to love jazz and other, like, types of music that have that in it. And for me personally, I wasn't brought up in a house where that was really appreciated. You know, like the piano music around me was a lot of, like, church shit and stuff.
Gospel.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the reason why, like, it's a, like, cyclical chicken and egg kind of thing, but the reason why fucking snooty white fucking suburban kids are the ones that go to piano lessons and stuff are because they're the ones who grow up in, like, the environment to hear, like, that kind of music and actually, like, have it implanted in them at a young age. You know what I mean? Like, because I can't just put my experience now back into me as a toddler. So going back to me as a toddler, no, I still wouldn't have taken piano lessons. But
That's fair. Me as a kid, no. I wanted to be a drummer, and I was kind of disappointed when I got my first guitar. I didn't think I would take
I
to it
wanted
at
to be
all.
a drummer when I was really, really young
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
That is the easiest one to teach to very little kids, I have found.
Yeah.
Piano's the next easiest. Guitar, you really got to build up hand strength that you just don't have as a little kid usually.
Well, and also, like, there's a lot of, like, subconscious, like, math work going on guitar because of, like,
the
the
all
interval.
the strings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's The layout on a piano is simple. There's a equal distance for every every interval or whatever, like this is a third, this is a fourth, this is a sixth, whatever. But guitar, you've got to know shapes and stuff, and that takes a little bit more stronger long-term memory or what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
But for me, guitar, and then when I was like 14, started playing guitar, I was like 12. Then I was like 14 or 15. Everybody at church in the youth group played guitar, and nobody. There were a couple people that played bass, but they weren't there that often. So I was like, okay, well that's the job. And honestly, that was the point that I actually got into the Beatles from the specifically from the perspective of Paul is a bass player and makes it look cool, which isn't something you see very often. And that was entirely my end point to it, was melodic bass playing and frontman bass playing. And then keys I just picked up through the years of just learning to play different songs and then starting to write myself and stuff.
Yeah.
And drums the same thing, like just knowing like what the things you're supposed to do and just sitting down and just doing it. And everything else is the same thing with keys. Like at this point it's pretty much any stringed instrument, as long as I don't have to use a bow and I know what tuning it's in half an hour I can know what I'm doing basically on it, because I know what the things are supposed to do.
Yeah. Once you get a feeling for the mechanics of it, like the specific like right hand techniques, the only question then is finding out the geometry of the note structure.
Right.
Because like guitar is very specific in that everything's tuned to fourths, so you're going up the subdominant direction of the circle of fifths whenever you are fucking moving between strings, and then obviously it's the reverse whenever you're going the other way.
Right.
But if you're playing like a violin, it's the opposite is true. It goes up by fifths in the it goes in the dominant direction of the circle of fifths as you ascend in strings, and vice versa. Yeah.
I was more into acoustic guitar when I first started, and that's the first thing that I had, is because my dad, one of my dad's old roommates had an old Washburn and just left it when they left. They owed my dad money, and they just left that instead when they left. Never heard from him again.
Right on.
He was like,
fair enough.
took it with one of his guitar buddies. He's like, this is good. Should I even hold on to this? He's like, it's a good Washburn. That was 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, they've, like, changed factories and shit since then.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, yeah, he got that and just sat in the closet for years. I didn't even know we had it as a kid until I had, like, a fake, like, plastic string electric guitar. And we had soccer coaches from England doing, like, MLS camps that stayed with us because we were one of the homes that just kind of signed up for. Met some really cool overseas dudes that way.
I thought MLS was a disease when you first said it.
No. Major League Soccer camp?
No, I got it now.
Okay. But one of them was trying to
I thought it was
tune
Midlothian
and
Snowmen.
one of them was trying to tune and play my guitar because he couldn't bring his over with him.
Mm-hmm.
If my dad just goes to the fucking closet and it's like, I got one of those. I don't do anything with it, but I have one. Here you go, play it. That dude was really good guitar, but I played that for forever after I knew we had it. I had lessons a couple of times. And I always wondered why I didn't take to it as much as I wanted to. Like, I never had the dedication to, like, sit down and play for any amount of, like, real good time unless I was like, I have an idea for a song, and I was being a narcissist. Like, that was it. That was it. I didn't have any interest in, like, learning a bunch of songs or anything. And as soon as I picked up a ukulele for, like, the first fucking time, I was like, this is so light and nice and easy to play, and it has to deal with me fluttering my hand and not picking at notes all the time.
Right.
And, like, that was one thing that I couldn't get down very well because I didn't practice over and over and over again. Is that I couldn't use a pick to save my goddamn life. That's why I always played with my fingers.
Yeah.
It was so easy. It was so much easier for me.
I still usually, very rarely do I go for a pick on an acoustic.
Yeah.
I like my fingers on an acoustic. Electric, I kind of have to at this point. Like, I don't know how I went all those years without using a fucking pick on electric guitar.
And it's so much more easy and comfortable to do like fluttering stuff on 4 strings instead of 6.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So like I just love fucking around with that. And if that like it's just I'll do it sitting there muted just fuck around with it just with the beat of it.
I really want a tenor guitar for that specific reason.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my buddy had a really sick like vintage tenor guitar. It was like a resonator. It was like a 4-string fucking resonator. I think it was like mandolin tuning, but specifically a tenor guitar from the manufacturer's perspective. But that thing was fucking sick and it sounded so cool. I always tuned it like to standard guitar,
like just the bottom or the top 4 strings.
Yeah. That fucking EADG.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I still have my first instrument. It's downstairs, actually.
Which one?
The keyboard.
Ah.
I got that when I was 9.
Damn.
Yeah.
A little chillin'.
Oh, yeah, the last one I have is still the Blue Strat. You can see multiple Fox's videos and probably some old PSP videos. I know it's in performances. I don't know if it's any videos or not, but got that when I was 12. So that one. Oh shit! I think that one actually is an adult. That one can go to war now.
Nice.
Damn.
Yeah. But no, I've fallen really just fallen in love in general with the acoustic guitar the last couple of years. Like, it's only been probably, I guess, since I got the Texan and actually got a good acoustic that I really love to play. And yours, that I've opened and started approaching it from a different perspective than just cowboy chords filling in space, but its own unique slot. I've really come to love double drop D on acoustic.
Oh yeah.
Tuning both E's down to D. Yeah.
There are a lot of Led Zeppelin songs that do that. And it pulls it like that mystic kind of effect to it.
Because the G and B are so good for doing like third runs in the key of D, key of D specifically on those 2 strings, and so just droning the others off. So it's so good. I got working on a little fucking dueling piece for boxers in that kind of setup. But anyway,